So even for updating also, I think the data type will come here later. During the time we can see. So update also based on some column. Let us say I want to update all other columns in this particular table. Then I can use this option. So again I am going to general option. Insert means it's a plain insert. That means from employee table it will take all the records and again it will insert into employees. So that means here it will do two operations. First one is delete and the second one is insert. So again when you are inserting the data, you have option. You want to reinsert the deleted record. If suppose if you want to insert, you can insert, or you can leave the deleted record and then you can go for the insert. That means you are deleting and inserting, or deleting and freshly you are reinserting all the records. That is how this can work. And next one is insert. Insert operation is plain insert. It will not check anything. So all the records which are available from the employees table, it will take and it will insert into employees tables. Here we are not having any filters or any conditions, so it will take all the eligible records, that means all the records from employee table, and then it will try to insert all the records into employees. Next option we have is insert update. So insert already we have seen, and then it will do update also. That means it will insert all the records. It will insert the new records first, and then it will update the old records based on some conditions. So how you want to update the records? Based on employee ID or employee name, let us say we want to update. That means here it is separating the records, new records and old records, so that it will insert the new records and it will update the old records. So while updating old records, again it will go to the each and every column and it will see here load column when updating, match column when updating. See here we have two options, load column, match column. What is the difference? See first here when we are updating or deleting, first based on some column we have to update. That is nothing but match column. That means I want to match this particular value to this column value, and then I want to do the update. That means where in the employees table, EMP table, let us say I am getting the department number 10. Let us say employee ID is also 10. Okay, these are all matching. If both are matching, then do the update, like that. So here we are saying that update for row. Suppose based on employee ID we want to update the record, then we have to put it as yes. That means it will match based on employee ID, and then it will update. And when it is updating, do you want to again update the same value with do you want to update the same column? Already the column value is matching, means it will be having the same value, so it doesn't make any sense to again update it. So we can make it as no. But when we are inserting a new record, yeah, it has to be inserted, right? In this operation we are checking only insert and update, so we are not checking anything for the delete operation. For delete operation we are everything we are having. No, we are not matching anything for the delete operation. Okay, so these are the two different options we have here. So generally what insert update, what it will do is the order is important here. First it will insert the records, then it will update. For example, let us say I have a defined I want to do this operation based on the primary key. Okay, then it will first do the complete insert operation. It will check all the new records first, After that it will go for the update. That means if there are any existing records, then go for the update option. This is the order, actually it is very important. For example, we are trying to update based on primary key, then let us say it will internally prepare a statement in such a way that first it will try to insert the records. If it is already existing, it will throw duplicate unique index duplicate error, then it will go for the update operation. That is how it works. Otherwise it will prepare a merge statement where it can have the insert first and then it can have the update operation. None means you are not doing anything. Truncate insert. Truncate insert is similar to delete insert, but in the sense that they are not exactly same. They are similar, but they are not same. So in delete, how we are deleting the records? Based on some columns or some conditions, we are deleting the records, and then we are inserting. But in truncate, what we will do is we will truncate the table first. That means we will delete all the records. There is no condition, there is no verification. It will delete and it will auto commit, and then it will go for the insert operation. And update again. So update means only we are going to update the records. So again update, here again we have to check with the loading properties based on which column we want to update and what are all the columns you want to load when you are doing the update operation. So for example, here I want to update the employees table based on employee ID, let us assume. Okay, so here the match column when updating row, so this column is used for matching the values. That is, employee ID is used for the matching values. So if it is matching with the target values, then what it will do, it will update the remaining columns. So all other remaining columns load when updating row should be yes. You see, it should be yes, it should be yes, then only it will update. If you are putting no means it will not update. In general, employee ID you can keep it no, because you are already, you know that this is the same value, so you don't need to update it. But other columns, all other columns, what you can do is you have to update them. Another option is update insert. Update insert and insert update, they are similar statements, but similar operations, but only the difference is which operation actually you want to do first. You want to update first or you want to insert first. So here here the loading type is update insert. So first it will do update operation and then it will do insert operation. That means for update it will segregate all the records first. It will segregate what are all the records comes for the update operation. For example, let us say I want to update all the existing records. Okay, so based on employee ID I want to update the employees table. So it will go and check all the existing records. Are there any existing records for this employee ID? They are there. Then update all the other columns. Yes, done. Update operation is done. Then for the remaining rows which are not existing, then insert the records. Inserting records means the employee ID, employee name, salary, hire date, all the records will be inserted. These are all new records, so I want to insert. So update insert works like update the old records first, insert the new records later. That is the order. For insert update it is the other way. First insert all the new records, then update all the old records. So this is depends on your business business logics. Sometimes you have to go for update first, and sometimes you have to do the insert next. So that based on your business requirements, you can do this operation. Both the options are available. So for this simple case, I am putting as insert. I am taking the insert operation, insert loading type. So here all other columns, loading properties, each column you can go there and you can see you can we are inserting. So load column and inserting, for all of them it should be yes, 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 first value, because if you are putting something no means when you are inserting it will not insert the value for this particular column, and if we have not null constraint on this particular column, then it can throw error. So you have to be careful when handling these operations. So loading properties already we have seen, but we can go again, we can go through them again. Loading column when inserting loading. So here there are 5 options, right? So loading, load column, match column. So match column is important. It comes into picture for delete and update, and load column comes into picture when you are inserting and updating. For deleting, load column will not come. So match column means when deleting, so when you want to do the delete operation, do you want to delete based on this particular column? That is what does it mean. For example, here hire date is selected, or let us say I am selecting employee ID right? So this employee ID can be used for deleting the values in this particular table. That is nothing but match column when deleting the row. Similarly, match column when updating row is, do you want to compare, do you want to match this particular column value for updating the records? Yes or no? That is given by this option, match column when updating row. Similarly, we have 2 other columns, load column and load column when inserting and load column when updating. So load column when inserting row means for insert operation by default it will be yes, right? And for delete insert, that is all up to your business requirement. You want, after deleting the records, again you want to insert? No, I do not want to insert, I just want to delete and proceed. That is nothing but the delete operation, similar to delete operation. So the loading type and loading properties, they have to be considered together. So the effect will be together. It will consider the loading type, and again on the column level it will take the loading properties. So combining both the things, the effect will come into the target table. So similarly, when we are updating load when updating, for example, say match column when updating row, I have taken it as yes, and again load column when updating row, already it is 10 is matched with 10, fine, then you can update all other records as well as employee ID itself. Anyway it will remain same, right? So that is how you can do all these operations. So update operation also, here we have option, it is equal to operator, not equal to operator. All these options we have, not equal to operator, minus equal to operator. So in general we will do update operator based on equal to, and we can also do based on not equal to. star equal to, these are all the different options we have. So here if you see star equal to means it will take all the values including star means it will consider all the items. So all our cases we will go with the equal. Okay, so anyway for this example we are taking insert operation, so update doesn't play much role here. So even if you are selecting the loading properties, there is no harm, but insert is the operation we are doing, so it will only insert the records. It will not consider the other loading properties like update or delete, but they can be used for when it is required or when you are doing loading and update operation. So now your program is ready, loading the data from EMP table to employees table. So that is fine, I have done this one. Then what is the next step? Next step is maybe you can verify whether the complete proper program or mapping is correct or not. Are there any warnings or errors? Those things you have to do. That can be done by validation. We check here. Right click the mappings and then validate. See, under the validation we have a lot of warnings. These are warnings. Warnings means okay, your business or your program may not be affected, I mean, but there are chances that the behavior can go something wrong. Here you see column precision of employee table employee number is greater than target column precision. You see here what is the precision we have in the employee table, EMP table, what is the precision? It is also number type, okay, but employee number here we do not have. Okay, then do one thing, double click on employee EMP table, go to the input output groups. Under this one we have numeric. Okay, so under this one we do not have any precision. Here you see scale precision is 4, here the precision is 4. Okay, so it is saying that the source precision is 4, which is greater than the target, right? Target, what is the precision for target? Maximize the table, double click on the table. So here let us see for the target the precision is only 1. That means you are you may have 4 decimals, but here you have only one decimal. That means it has to truncate. It is saying that warning, as per the warning, it is saying that is greater than the column precision. This can create some issues. That is what it is meaning. Similarly, all the other columns, see salary is also similar warning. Precision of EMP salary is greater than the target column precision. Column scale EMP is greater than the target column scale. So it is saying that okay, there is the data type compatibility is not same between the target and source. so it can lead into some issues, but it's not, there is no harm in doing like this also, because there are no errors. These are all warnings. Okay, so in that case you can leave them as it is, or you can modify the details also. Go to the table here, let us see what are all the scales. Employee ID, there I think we have given 4, so here also we'll give 4. Okay, and for EMP table, what are all the scales and precisions? Scale is 0, precision is 4. Okay, salary 7, 2. So let us modify these things also. So I have updated these things. Now again go back to the mapping and validate. See what I have done. I have modified the table data types, employees table data types I have modified, but you see here I did not, in the mapping I did not modify it, right? I did not update it. It is using old values. You can verify that. See, I'm going here and in the input output, scales are precision and scale are 1 1 1, because the definition, table definition in the project level metadata information I have modified. Okay, so by default it will not reflect into the projects, it will not reflect into the mappings. So if you are modifying anything here in the project table data types, then you have to update the modified data types into the corresponding mappings also. Okay, otherwise it will not, and the changes will not be reflected. But why I have done the changes here? Because if I am doing the changes in the project, then later also I can use the same structure. If I am creating later, if I am creating the some other new mappings, it will go with the new structure. I can modify in the mapping itself, but if I am modifying here, it will be applicable only for this particular mapping, and other mappings it will not be visible. Okay, and also it will say that the table definition in the mapping and in the project definition, they are not matching. Again it will throw the same error, same warning. So what I am, for this one, what I am doing is I will update. Update is nothing but synchronize. So employees tables I am taking inbound from my projects to table operators. Okay, based on synchronized strategy replace I am using. Now we go and check the table properties, inbound, outbound, what are the options we have. See, now 4 0 and 7 2 came, because that is what we have defined here. Now go to the mapping and validate again. See, all the green marks are coming. Validation successful, completed successful. There are no warnings, there are no errors. That means your mapping is perfect as per the defined standard validation process. You are passing all the rules. So now you are ready for the deployment. Deployment means it's nothing but now you have prepared the diagram. I mean, you have represented your business though. So I want to load the data from employee table to employees table. I have defined it here. I have defined the metadata in Oracle Warehouse Builder, right? Then after doing this one, what I have to do, I have to generate the code or deploy the mapping. Means what it will do is, when we are deploying the mapping, what it will do is it will it will create the program and it will deploy the program into the target tables. It will deploy into the target modules, right? So that comes under deployment. And next is execution. Execution means you are executing the deployed program, deployed method. We will see how we can do deployment and execution in next sections. So before going to the deployment, there is another option called configuration. This is also very important. Configuration. What is configuration? See, you have defined your program. I mean, you have defined your mapping. You have in the mapping you have defined the tables. You have given the connections, all the business information you have given, and finally loading. So before while loading, what are all the things you want to do? That is also important, right? So I'm going to the mapping configuration. Right click and configure. I'm coming to the different options. So here you see this mapping is deployable or not, true or false. So you are deploying the map, you are creating the mapping here. Sometimes you may not do, you may not want to deploy them. You may not create the program and deploy into the target database. At that time you can use false option. This is generally applicable for tables. Tables generally we do not want to deploy, because when you are trying to deploy a particular table, it will drop it and it will recreate it. That means if there is any existing data in the particular table, you will lose everything, right? So the first time, fine, you want to create the data, you want to create the table, that is fine. But in the later cases, if you are trying to create the tables, then it can cause lot of issues. If you are dropping a table in the projects, that can create a lot of issues. So by default for the mappings it will be true but for tables views it will be generally no. So this particular mapping is deployable from this warehouse builder. So true option, general comments. If you want to give any comments, you can give here. Language, this is the important parameter. You see here these are all the languages it can prepare the mapping. That means you have prepared the mapping diagram. This diagram can be converted into different kind of languages. What are all the languages? PLSQL is supported by Oracle. You can do it in, you can create the program in Oracle PLSQL or ABAP. ABAP is for SAP. SQL loader. For example, if you are trying to load the data from a flat file into a table, then you can use SQL loader. SQL plus, undefined, TDF, these are all the different options you have. So if you are selecting anything here, means it will, the generated code, generated program will be up in this particular language. So if you are using Oracle database, then generally we can go for PLSQL. Code generation options. ANSI table syntaxes statements is false. ANSI SQL syntax is true. This is important because joins and all, it's supported throughout the world, and we have ANSI standards. Means table join we can give in different ways. For example, early some tables, employee and department table we have seen, right? So we can join the tables for in Oracle something like this: EMPE and department D where E dot DPT number is equal to D dot department number. So this is one way of defining the join conditions. So this same condition, this same join definition may not be valid in other databases. In DB2 it may be different, SAP it may be above, it may be different, right? In MS SQL it may be different. So to avoid all this such things, but join means in generally in any way, data warehouse application throughout the world, join means okay, you are joining two tables. That is the general activity anybody does in a data warehouse application. So to understand properly what world organization they have done is they have come up with some ANSI standards. That means this kind of joins, okay, we are following some notations. So if you are doing this notation, this should be valid in Oracle, or it should be valid in DB2, it should be valid in SAP Web or MS SQL, whatever the other systems you are using. The meaning should be same for any of them. So the same statement I can write something like this: from EMP join department EMP, let us say I'm saying E on E dot department number is equal to D dot department, we have DEPT number, right? DEPT number. See, here I am using join word. That means as per the ANSI standards, I am putting a word called join, and then it can understand, okay, this is going for a join, we are going for a join on these two tables, right? Based on what you want to join, based on department number from employee table and department number from department table. This is the ANSI standards. So similarly, we can have outer joins, inner joins, right outer joins, all those things. So the notation may be different in Oracle. It may be having some plus symbols, but here you can put something like outer join. Outer join, also left join or left outer join, left join department number with this condition, like that. So these are all the different ways of representing the joins, right? So what this option is valid is this will be generating the joins with the ANSI standards. Okay, even if you are running the same query on DB2 database or some other database also, it should work and it should be readable. That is the meaning. If you do not want to have that one, you can put it no. Then it will be applicable only for the language you are defining. Auth ID option, bulk processing, again this is also one good concept here. Bulk processing is nothing but see, let us say in EMP table there are millions of records. So do you want to process them in a row by row or in a bulk, right? This is also similar to the chunk option. When you are using bulk operation, then you can use the chunk. Okay, so bulk means here we will put it into, sometimes we can put them everything into single bulk operation, or you can do the bulk operation in different batches or different chunks. All these definitions we can give. Commit control is automatic, enable parallel DML. We are not doing the parallel option here, okay, but when you are doing the bulk operation, it should be enabled. Error triggers, generic mode. Here code you want to generate on which operating mode. See, we have different modes, different type of modes. So each mode will have a certain kind of behavior, okay. So do you want to generate the code for all the codes? Yeah, true, I want to generate for all the available options, and I can choose during runtime which kind of mode I want to go in, right? So by default all operating modes are available. We will see how all these options will work in the next sections. I think it will come down, we will see that. So optimized code, yes, true, it should be optimized. Use target load ordering, false. Here I'm putting as a false because I have only one target, I don't need to bother. But if there are 2-3 targets in the same mapping, then sometimes the loading order of the targets is also very important for me. Then I have to follow that certain order. So how that order will be done? Based on how the tables are added into the mapping table. So if you are putting S, then it will take the order. And the first one is analyze the table statements. So do you want to analyze the tables after completing the DML operation? That is analyze table statement option. And then comes the runtime parameters table operators. So runtime parameters are important one. So what are all the options we have here? So in the code generation also we have seen what we have seen. Code generation option, we have seen that all operating mode, generation mode, all operating modes we have selected. So what are all the operating modes we have? Runtime parameters, all these things we can see here. So default operating mode is set based failover to row based. So all the options that we have seen in the code generation option are also available here. So based on which option you want to run this program, this is runtime parameters, right? So this is applicable only when you are running the mapping. So this mapping, when you are executing, okay, it has generated the code, and in which mode you want to generate, you have generated the code, but in which mode you want to execute this particular mapping, right? So this mapping execution, it can be changed during runtime. I can select the different options, available options. You can select any of these options during runtime. That is also possible. So what is the default operating mode, and what are we have row based operation, row based target only operation, set based failover, row based, set based failover to row based target only operation. These are all the different options. Let us see one by one how this particular mode is working. Let's go by one.